All right, welcome. My name is Brandon TeWalt, streaming into you from the United States of America. Today we have the pleasure of interviewing this marvelous man. His name's Lawrence Smith, owner of the Acrophobic Trekker.
Greetings. I'm 4,000 miles away from Kilimanjaro on the GR10 Grand Randonnees, one of my old haunts, which is on the Pyrenees, between Spain and France. Thinking back on the 7-day hike, and I remember when we got back to the hotel in Moshi, it took me a while to come to terms with what we just achieved, and I spent a couple of hours just wandering around a beautiful garden in the hotel, taking pictures of flowers, and still not really appreciating what we'd just done.
So here's the big question that I have for you. At your age, 70 years old, why would you even consider climbing Mount Kilimanjaro? It doesn't sound fun. It doesn't sound like, it sounds just grueling. What really inspired you to do this?
So, first question, why? Why did I decide to hike up Kilimanjaro at the ripe old age of 70? Well, the main reason was because my two daughters, my oldest, my youngest daughters, a unique opportunity to do something really memorable like that. But at the back of my mind was the fact that my second daughter, who is ill, couldn't really do it. Been lovely if she could have done, but she would have to have taken, about a few kilograms of medicine with her. And the other reason was my son Jeremy, who, if not for his disability, I'm sure he would have been there with us as well. So when we got to the summit of the Peak, I called out his name with what little breath I had left at 5,875 meters. And I promised I would. So that was the other reason. It was pretty much the same reason that I bought the Pyrenees and wrote the two books, which I have links to on my channel page. As you can tell, I've still got a bit of a cough left. I picked up what's called the Kili cough, dry, dusty cough. It's been a while to shake off. I came back with a chest infection. Anyway, back to my son. He would have been there, I'm absolutely sure. So I did it for him as well. I did it for his carers too. Self-sacrificing. They lay down their life on the line for him, so I would do for them too. Which is why I also did this hike on the GR10 from coast to coast on the Pyrenees, visiting one section of it. Okay.
So our second question for today, how did you really muster up the mindset to consider this trip? Being a 70-year-old, there's so many different barriers and hurdles that you had to overcome. And from the way it's described to me, even when I watch your videos, there are certain points in this trek that just proved to be almost insurmountable, but you pushed through it. So could you tell me, using some of those examples on your trip, what really helped you get through those tough moments?
So how did I keep going? Another cracking question. Thanks for that, Brandon. I think the thought of making it to the top with my two daughters was what kept me going. I always found that it's the same reason pretty much that I managed to walk the Pyrenees from coast to coast. I had to have a good reason for doing it. Determination, sheer willpower. I mean, the difference, of course, this time was on Kilimanjaro, there was a group of people with me. We were a group of 10, plus the guides, of course, the can-do guides. I mean, unbelievable, unbelievably motivating and inspiring. Couldn't have had better guides. Couldn't have had a better group to walk with either. You know, we gelled on the very first day. They're wonderful, you know, even though I was old enough to be their dad, and their granddad for some of them. There was a big age gap between us. I still found that, you know, that to be unimportant. You know, apart from the physical, obvious physical differences between us, there was nothing else. We gelled, we encouraged each other, spurred each other on. I mean, Roxanne, my oldest daughter, and me, we both have acrophobia, and our nemesis was always going to be the Barranca wall, which we hit on the fourth day, beginning of the fourth day. Sadly, I couldn't take any videos of the ascent. It was, you know, rock climbing, not really scrambling, it was climbing. And sometimes Roxanne would freeze with fear, and we'd have to walk around her. Myself, I just focused on micro matters. Where's my next handhold going to be? My next foothold? Is it going to hold feeling the rocks, crevices, you know, down at that level, and never looking behind me or down. It's a technique I learnt when I was on the Pyrenees, and I had to do some far more scary things than that. And the book goes into all the details of how I managed to cope, what kept me going there as well. Determination, sheer bloody mindedness, never wanted to give up. I will do it. I would do this trek on Kilimanjaro for my daughters and for Jeremy, and that was it. Nothing would stop me.
Now that you have finished this trek, I kind of want to hear a little bit about your active reflections and kind of looking forward. What did you learn from this? What do you want to think about what do you have planned for the future?
What did I learn? What a cracking question that is. Same question that Georgina asked me, my youngest daughter asked me when I did the Pyrenees, when I got back home. And I think the answer is the same on Kilimanjaro as it was then. One, you are stronger than you think. That's the first thing. You know, what you might think of as being impossible is possible with enough determination, with enough strength of will to do it, with a good cause behind you. You know, those are the things that kept me going. The cause. If I just took it down to Kilimanjaro because it was there, I would have failed. I'm sure of it. You know, if I looked at it as something to conquer, then I wouldn't have done it. had to be a good cause, had to be a good reason for doing it. So that was, the lesson is you've got to have a cause, a really good cause. Psych yourself up to do it. And I always had this feeling inside me at the end of each day, as each day passed. I set off on Kilimanjaro not thinking I'd do it. Honestly, didn't believe I'd do it. Day one came and I finished it, and I thought, made it. Well, I'm here. What a surprise. Well, I'll keep on going, see how far I can get. So lesson 2, try. Always try. Always try, even if you think it's impossible, because you don't know if you'll succeed unless you try. So what if you fail? You've learned something. You learned something about yourself. And that's really part of the reason for doing it as well. You learn about yourself.